There you go. Legislator.
I got a meeting at 2:30. 3 minutes to horseman over. Steve, you're going over there? Okay. Teamwork.
So, you haven't been hung by the balls.
Excuse me?
You haven't been tarred and fettered. You survived Hillsborough.
Why would I not?
Well, no, I mean, we were concerned.
What were you concerned about?
I don't know. It did look like a rough crowd, the way they were on social
Beautiful
media.
people in Hillsborough.
Everything was fine.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So what's the latest? What?
People have legitimate concerns, you know. Obviously, there's issues with the road and the washout and the detour. And the reason I went to Hillsborough was to be able to talk to the residents there.
And you did.
I did. There was about 400 that came, which was good. I arrived early and I greeted people as they showed up and arrived and had a chat with them. And we were able to give them an update on where we're at and what we had hoped to do to help alleviate the situation.
Next month is going to get worse for the detour. It's going to get worse because spring, it's hot weather. What's going to happen? You're going to...
Well, all the roads are like that all across the province. Not all of them, but I mean, we have a lot of potholes in New Brunswick.
Yeah, but this one here is going to be a lot of traffic there.
Well, there is, for sure, because of the detour. And we have asphalt being laid down now. It's not ideal. It's not holding up well because of the weather and the time of the year. But we're doing our best. And the team that we have at the Department of Transportation Infrastructure is working extremely hard to do everything they can. The components for the modular bridge that we ordered back in January, most of them are on site now. I think there's still another load to arrive. We expect everything to be on site by April the 15th.
Did you talk about the free bridge from Australia?
I did.
And what they say?
Yep, so I'll finish first.
Oh, go ahead.
So the two-lane modular bridge is on its way. Most of the components are there now. There's still a few more components to arrive. We expect them to be all on site by mid-April, April the 15th, within the next 2 weeks. And then the time frame from there, because we're working on getting the roadway prepared to put the bridge there. And that takes time in itself. This is not a normal culvert and a normal road.
No.
We're right next to the Bay of Fundy.
Bay of Fundy.
Right?
So the highest tide in the world.
That's right. We got tidal waters to deal with. We have safety issues for our employees and for contractors that are on site. So our number one priority is the safety of the traveling public and the safety of our employees and the people that are working on sites. So it takes time to get things prepared and get it done right. In terms, the engineers have advised me that if everything goes as planned and everything is on schedule, we expect by mid-May we will have that on-site detour in operation, which will alleviate all of the traffic concerns on the detour route that's there now. So that's the timeline that we explained to the people of Hillsborough. I know there were some people that were frustrated.
I'm letting you talk. Oh my God. Okay, keep on going.
Okay. Well, I appreciate this.
It's okay.
It's important too because
it
people
is.
of Hillsborough and that region, it's important for them to have the information.
Yeah.
So anybody that might not have been at the meeting,
Don't worry, if I'm bored, I will cut you off.
They can hear. Well, you're cutting me off now, Charles. Please be patient.
Okay, no problem.
So,
do you have some Ritalin? Do you have some marijuana? Maybe I could keep my mouth shut. Continue, Minister. Go ahead.
So the timeline is mid-May. We expect to have the on-site detour open, which allows the traffic to come off of the detour site that we have now. And then we have to obviously do some work, a lot of work on the detour road, and that will happen throughout the summer months. So, I mean, we're doing everything we can, and we understand how important that route is to the people of that area, to the tourism sector, to the local residents. We understand. In terms of the free bridge that was offered, I spoke to Mr. Tingley. He's in Australia. He's been in Australia for a bit now. He tells me he's coming back to Canada sometime in May. I told him I'd be more than happy to sit down and meet with him. In terms of accepting a free bridge for that site, it doesn't make sense because the bridge he offered is not the right size. And regardless of whether he had a free bridge to put on site tomorrow, it still couldn't be installed until the same timeline that I explained for all the reasons I said, because we have to prep the ground, we have to ensure that it's all ready in the proper way because of the tidal waters. It's not as simple as just plunking a bridge down. There's a lot of preparation that has to be done to the site, and that's been ongoing, and we're working on that continuously at the department.
How many questions was there that night? You know, how long did you stood there?
Well, I arrived at about 5:45. The meeting started at 7, so I talked to everybody as they arrived. The meeting started at 7, and we explained how we got where we are and where we expect to go and the timelines, and we opened the floor to questions. We took questions till about, I'd say roughly 9 o'clock, quarter after 9. And then after the meeting was adjourned, I stayed behind until every resident that wanted to speak to me individually talked to me.
You would do that. You're from the Miramichi, so
Well, absolutely. One of the things that I forgot to do is ask people for their email addresses, because that's a good way to communicate. So if
how can somebody send you an email?
Well, it's a good way for me to communicate with them. So
Yeah.
if we have updates, we can just email out.
Somebody wants to email you. What's your email address?
Bill.fraser@gmb.ca. And I have received emails, and we're keeping track of them from that region. And we're sending updates as we have them. If there's any new information, we'll send an update.
I watched the live stream a little bit. One thing that concerned me, didn't somebody mention bilingualism from the crowd?
Well, that had nothing to do with
I know.
there.
So why would somebody mention? What do you say? If you could afford, I know you don't want to be. You want to be politically correct, but I'm just saying. I wonder what they would ask bilingual. If we could afford bilingualism, we could afford a new bridge or something like that. But that didn't bother you. You get that all the time, do you?
We weren't there for that. We were there to answer questions about the road, and we already ordered the bridge. The bridge is part of it's on site now. The rest of it's en route. So I mean, there's no issue. Money's not the issue here.
How much it cost for a bridge anyway? There's a good question.
The bridge that we ordered for that site cost somewhere between 500 and 600,000. I don't know the exact number, but it's between 5 and 600,000.
So we could eliminate the language commissioner's job and get that. Don't answer that.
Charlie?
Don't answer that. So anyway, about that, I had to put that in there. So Minister, thank you very much. And no, I'm glad that you survived. And people in Hillsborough, they're good people, and they'll get their bridge in the middle of May, and no problem at all.
Well, we hope. We hope everything's installed by the.
You plan to do a follow-up meeting?
In fact, I plan on going back to Hillsborough sometime in the next few weeks, because we have some more good news to announce for Hillsborough and Alma and that region from my department.
Anybody want to contact you? Bill.Fraser@gnb.ca.